Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John, and you have just joined me in my famous sipping den. On this channel, I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol, and I do a world-famous Sunday morning coffee review, which I enjoy, I enjoy the hell out of it, but I invite everybody to sip along with me. Doesn't have to be the same thing I'm reviewing, although that would be fun. But just to enjoy a cup of coffee or a beer or whatever, along with one of my videos. Now, in order to keep all this stuff to where you can find it, two things. One, I have the most extensive playlist on YouTube. However, I have put a ton of thought into it, and I have broken it down in categories and subcategories so that everything I review is easy to find. If you just go on a playlist, you'll see how easy, and it's a lot easier for you just to check it out than me trying to explain the work of genius that I've put into that. I am friends with a lot of YouTubers, so I always do these reviews to keep it fair to my friends, with half my taste buds tied behind my back. And I do everything here, so there's no need to go from channel to channel looking for what, your alcohol and coffee needs. You just have to go to my playlist. Give me a sub today. Oh, and if that isn't enough, and it is, every single comment, the first comment's pinned because I have a link to the playlist to what I'm reviewing. In this case, it's going to be beer, but I also have a playlist that breaks that down even further, subcategory, into Oktoberfest beer, and that's what we're looking at here. Founders, Oktoberfest, German-style MÄRZEN. Just take a look at the can art. It's part of the fun, right? They put some time and effort into it, right? An old German-type looking village. Orange for fall. There it is. Now, MÄRZEN beer is almost another word for October beer. Do you know what it is, MÄRZEN? It's fun to find out, right? You see it. It's synonymous with Oktoberfest. So what is a MÄRZEN beer? What is it? A style? What is it? Let's find out. MÄRZEN has its origins in Bavaria. Very cool. Bavaria, Germany. Probably before the 16th century. All right. A Bavarian brewing ordinance declared in 1553 that beer may be brewed only between the 29th of September and 23rd of April, as the high temperatures required to heat and boil the ingredients in the kettle were more likely to cause fires or explosions during the hotter summer months. Interesting. MÄRZEN was brewed in March with more hops, malt, and slightly higher alcohol content that would allow the beer to last while the brewing of new beer was forbidden. Okay, from 24th of April to 28th of September. So since they couldn't brew in those months, the months they did brew in, they decided to make the beer stronger alcohol, more malt, more hops. Hops is a preservative. I mean, it gives the flavor, but it also acts as a preservative, so that the beer would last through the months that they couldn't brew. Okay? The original MÄRZEN was described as dark brown, full-bodied, and bitter, so it would last. The beer was often kept in the cellar until late in the summer, and the bottles were served at the Oktoberfest. Common names for MÄRZEN in Germany and Austria include MÄRZEN beer, Wiener MÄRZEN, or Weiner, Fest beer, and Oktoberfest. All right. There's more, but that's enough for now, right? That's what you need. If you want to find out more, you certainly can. This Oktoberfest, ABV 6%, not really that high, I don't guess. IBUs 20, that is a measurement of bitterness. Calories 100. Availability July through October. Blink and you'll think you're in Bavaria. We went all in on tradition with our Oktoberfest, using imported German malts and hops, with a beautiful lager yeast for the finish. Pours a gorgeous copper hue with a rich malty and slightly sweet backbone. Our version is akin to the beer poured in the early days of Oktoberfest. We'll be the judge of that. Let's crack it open. And a hand-blown Polish beer smug or stein or whatever. All right, so here it is. Maybe slightly lighter, maybe, than, we'll call it MÄRZEN color. They're usually a little darker, I think, but this is still darker than a lager. It has imported hops from Germany, right? And, all right. Let's give it the sniff test. There it is. It's a beautiful looking thing, isn't it? It smells sweet and malty. And hopefully the hops will bounce out that sweetness of the malt and make it a perfect beer. We'll see, founders. Prost. Cheers. You know, I always do an acclimation sip first. Hugely important for high proof spirits, more than anything else, really. And I've explained, I won't get into it right now. We're not doing a high proof spirit, but it is a big deal to do it with that and do it correctly. But I always like to do it with everything. All right. Yes, sweet up front, malty. A nice bittering on the back end. Not a lot. 20 is not a high IBU, International Bittering Unit. But it is enough to bounce out that sweetness of the malt. You get that up front, no bittering whatsoever. Just sweetness, maltiness. As you swallow, deep in the finish, like now still, it gets more and more bitter. Which is good because it's washing away the sweetness and kind of balancing that out and leaving that bitterness. Then the next sip, you get the sweetness, and then the bitterness waves over. So it's bready, pumpernickel, you know, a dark type bread, and that's about it. Right? It's a simple beer. It's tasty. I like the balance of sweetness, the maltiness with the bittering at the end. Bready, very common. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing unbelievable, nothing bad. Hits the style. That's it. So, there it is. From Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed, thank you for being here. Check out my Oktoberfest playlist. Well, hell, check out all my playlists. You're doing yourself a favor. And remember, even if you don't like something, like you don't like some, you know, bourbon or scotch or gin or whatever, it's cool to check my playlist. You're going to have to eventually wines because you're going to be hosting parties. You're going to be going people's houses. You're going to need to bring gifts. You're going to be giving gifts to people who you may not like something, but they might like it. And you're going to get some great ideas from this channel of what to give somebody. Okay? You're going to be armed. So don't forget to sub, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to take my time, enjoy this one, and then I may do another. All right. See you all.